Greetings, folks, and welcome to today's show. 2018 is a big year for elections. We got a lot of folks running. We have 3 elections, May the 1st, August the 2nd, and November the 6th. And we'll go over each one of those and point out to you, remind you who's running, so you'll know which office is running, so you'll know whether you need to vote or not. And we'll also give you the registration deadline. And before we actually get into the details on the election, I think we need to remind ourselves of a little lesson on democracy, and that is what kind of turnout we're having for elections. And it doesn't sound good. And we're often encouraged that if we expect to protect our democracy, we need to get registered and vote, participate, so you can have something to say about what's going on. So our guest today is Vernita Davis, who is the Administrator of Elections for Coffee County. And Vernita, let's start with that bit about the turnout. How are we doing?
Well, actually, not very well. In the presidential election in 2016, almost 62% of the people that was registered to vote voted. That's the largest turnout in the last 4 years. In May of 2014, which will be the same kind of election that we're fixing to have coming up this May, only 21% of the people voted.
21% of those registered.
Right.
And the number registered doesn't really represent everybody in the county.
Right. At that time, we had 27,500 people registered to vote. So it was just, you take 20% of that, and that's a low number.
That sure is.
And then in August of 2014, there was a little more interest. Of course, the governor was running in that race, and 33% of the people that were registered voted in that race. In the November 2014, which was the general election for the governor, and there were some constitutional amendments on that in that election, 37% of the people that were registered voted.
So you're not getting half of those registered vote except for the presidential election last time.
Correct.
Clinton and Trump managed to stir folks up a little, I guess. That's pretty sad. What can we do about it?
I don't know. I mean, it's left up to the voter. In Coffee County, we've got over 32,000 people registered to vote. So, 15% of that would be 16,000, which it's hard to get at, half of the people there. Some people register to vote for different things. I mean, now when you go to the DMV, you can register to vote, and a voter registration card is one of the things that the DMV uses as a form of identity. So some people come in to register to vote just so they have that form, just so they have that card to prove that they are a resident of the state of Tennessee and a resident of Coffee County. So we have people like that, and then, we have people that move in and move out of Coffee County. And so if we don't know to take them off our records, then we may have, some people that are registered that are no longer in the county. But we do have a program every 2 years that helps us clean out those records.
Try to clean the roll.
Right. Yeah. So we do, and we purge. We get the deceased people, the people who've passed away. We get those off daily. And so we keep our rolls as clean as possible as we can.
Yeah, okay.
But
you are alert for it. Okay.
Yes.
Let's take a short commercial break, folks, and we'll be right back.
All I have to do to think about what I was physically before and what I am now, and I don't ever want to go back to that original situation.
The overall mission of the rehab team is always what is best for the patient and how we can facilitate maximum potential from every resident.
Well, the most important thing to me is that I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do,
Everyday Miracles, Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Tired of paying for monthly telephone service, expensive long-distance bills, and all those crazy taxes? Are you sick of spending money on telephone equipment, maintenance contracts, and service calls, all for a phone system that shackles you to 100-year-old technology and your desk? Stop it. It's time to ship your phone system to the cloud. What can the cloud do for you? Bring together remote offices, workers, and employees in the field. Make sure that you'll never miss calls by delivering them to multiple devices. Modernize faxing by allowing multiple faxes to be sent and received at once and delivered to email. Get your voicemail messages instantly through email too. And take advantage of an endless supply of customizable features. Host My Calls can deliver the cloud. All of this technology with low upfront costs and not one penny in capital expense. It's time for a phone solution you'll truly love from Host My Calls. Call the number below.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Vernita Davis, who is the Administrator of Elections for Coffee County. And we want to give you the basic information on the election season. We have an election in May, one in August, and one in November for different purposes, and we'll remind you what those are. And also, you can get information basically by going on the Election Commission website, and which is coffeecountyelectioncommission.com. And so we would encourage you to do that. The Election Commission publishes a good-looking brochure. Philip, if you run that picture briefly. And you can get this again on the website, or you can stop by the office and get it. And during early voting, it'll be available in the early voting 2 installations there. So no reason you shouldn't know what's going on. There's also there a list of all the candidates, 4 pages worth, which you can look on the website. So I would encourage you to be informed this year. Okay, let's look at each election, Vernita, starting with May 1st. You've got a registration deadline. If they haven't registered already, we need to encourage them to get out there, and that deadline is
April the 2nd.
April the 2nd. So
2nd.
you still, basically, you've got a month to get out there and register so you can vote. And so what is the May election then? What are we trying to do?
In the May election, we are trying to, we are having a county Republican primary and a county Democrat primary.
So
this is electing all the offices in Coffee County except for the assessor of property. So it's your mayor, it's your county commissioners, it's your trustee, your county clerk, your circuit court clerk, your sheriff, your constables, your road commissioners. All of these people will be elected this year. The primary being in May and the general being in August.
So if you got, for any office in which you have more than one candidate, they will be on the May ballot.
They will be on the May ballot, except for we do have a few independent candidates.
All right.
Which there are just a few offices that no one picked up papers for the primary. So whenever you go vote, if those offices are in your district, your ballot will say no qualified candidate. And so then you will know that there will be a candidate on the August ballot running as a Republican, running as an independent. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So if you have competition in the Democratic and Republican parties, they'll be on the May ballot.
Yes.
But the independents will not. They'll show up. Okay, and who's eligible to vote in May?
Anyone who declares to be affiliated with the party. So anyone who registers whenever they go vote as to be a Democrat or a Republican, they are eligible to vote.
But also we will remind everybody that while this is basically it's kind of referred to as a county election, that the people in Manchester and Tullahoma are part of the county and they need to vote as well. It's not just for those that are out in the rural county.
Right. It is county-wide.
How does the competition look? You got competition for most of the
In most of the races, we do have competition. For county mayor, right now there are 2 Republican candidates, 2 Democrat candidates, and in August there will also be an independent candidate for county mayor. So whoever gets nominated in the primary between the 2 parties, they will be on the August ballot. So in August, then we will have 3 candidates on the ballot.
Yeah.
So
you'll have the 2-party candidates plus the independent.
Right.
Okay.
And also sheriff, there are 4 sheriff candidates, and so that's going to be a pretty contested race. And also the next biggest office we have will be the Register of Deeds. There are 3 candidates there. There's 2 Republican candidates and 1 Democrat candidate. So if you're voting with the Republican Party, you will have a choice to make there.
Okay. All right. And again, primary all county offices, and then so we're leading up to a whopping big election in August, it looks like. So just remember, everybody in the county has a including both the cities, of course, has a opportunity to vote in May. All right, let's go and start a look at the August election. That sounds like that's the biggie.
It will be large. It will be.
In terms of the ballot's going to be a whopping size, isn't it?
Yes.
So, okay, run over that one for us. It's the
okay. In the August election, on your ballot, you will have the county general. You will have the state primary, Democrat and Republican state primary, and that's for governor and all your state offices there. And then you will also, if you live inside the Manchester and Tullahoma city limits, on your ballot you will also have city elections, which in Tullahoma there will be 2 aldermen and 2 school board running. In Manchester we have 3 aldermen and 3 school board running.
Do you have, let's see, the deadline for voting in the August election then, you still have time to register?
Yes, that deadline is July the 3rd.
The deadline for registering?
For registering to vote or to run. If you want to be a candidate, if you want to be a candidate in the August election, the deadline for that is April the 5th.
Right.
But now if you just need to register to vote in that election, that is July the 3rd.
Okay, so there's quite a bit of time. We need to start reminding folks ahead of time that they still have that opportunity. So we have the final election for all of the county offices, and the 2 the alderman and the school board of Tullahoma. We don't have any competition, do we? For either, there are 2 seats.
There's 2 seats, but now there's still time for competition because their deadline is not until April the 5th.
Right.
So more candidates can come out between now and then for those offices in Tullahoma.
Have the 2 incumbents declared themselves yet? Do you remember?
Sir. No, sir, not yet, but they still have time.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we don't really know who the competition is there yet. And so we have the general election for the county, Tullahoma, Manchester. Manchester has
3 aldermen, and 3 school board members.
3 aldermen and 3 school boards. Okay.
Also in the August election, the county school board members are up for election, and they are nonpartisan. So that's the reason they are only on the August election.
That's what, the county?
The county school board. Coffee County School Board.
I didn't capture them. County school board. Okay, and then the state and national, run over those again.
Okay, the state and national, that would be the, if I can borrow this, I'm sure I don't get it wrong. Okay, the state and national will be governor, United States Senate, United States House of Representatives, and that's the 6th Congressional District.
That's the 6th, right.
Tennessee House of Representatives, that's the 47th House District. The State Executive Committee woman and State Executive Committee man. And then also in August there will be some of the judges' retention questions on there for the appellate judges.
That's going to be state
Yes.
judges, not county.
Right.
Okay. All right, very good. We need to take another short commercial break, folks, and we'll be right back.
Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has proudly served your auto rental for over 30 years. Check out this huge selection to choose from. Small car, mid-size car, full-size car, crossover vehicle, SUV, minivan, pickup trucks, 12 and 15 passenger vans. Whether big or small, Russell Barnett Hometown Auto Rental has them all. Stop by our 2 locations to serve you, Tullahoma and in Winchester. And remember, my question is, why rent anywhere else?
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
It's your trademark. That's something special everyone knows and remembers. It's your thing. It's made holidays special for decades and summers unforgettable for the entire neighborhood. It's made everyone laugh every single time. Don't let illness or injury keep you from doing your thing. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
I'm meteorologist Leland Statham from the News Channel 5 Weather Center. Look to Jim Fuller and crew for local news night here on Channel 6.
We're back, folks, and we're talking today with Vernita Davis, who is the Administrator of Elections for Coffee County. And we're throwing a lot of information at you. And I want to encourage you to get the information which is available to you. And 2 easy ways to do it. One is to go on the county election website. And they on the website, and also independently, they've got this little brochure that really is a very handy piece of, and it has a lot of information on it, all the administrative stuff in connection with all 3 of the elections, and it's in summary form that you really can understand. So we would encourage you to, and you can get this by stopping by the county election office, and it will also be available at the early voting offices on both locations. So I would encourage you to do that, because as I say, we're throwing a lot of information at you. Okay, Vernita, let's we've talked about the August election, and again, that's final election for the county and the city positions, and then the primary for all the state and national positions, and following that, we've got the final election for the state and national offices on November the 6th. So run over that one for us. Who we got? Who's going to be in the November ballot?
Okay. On the November 6th ballot, you're going to have the candidates that won the nomination through the primaries will be on the November ballot. It's mostly, it will be just the state candidates will be on that ballot. It will be short.
That'll be.
It'll be for the governor. It'll be the governor and those offices, those state offices that you had the August primary for.
Oh. Okay, so, but it's going to be on both the U.S. House and the Tennessee House candidates.
Yes.
The governor and the Senate.
Yes.
U.S. Senate. So that's basically 4 positions. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the competition. Is this going to be an exciting election? And if so, what offices do you think we're looking at that we're going to have some good competition?
Right now, what I'm looking at is the governor's race in November. I think it's going to be, or really in August is where the big race is going to be in governor. And then because there will only be, just the Republican nominee and the Democrat nominee and then some independents. And right now we don't know.
For November.
For November. We
Right.
don't know how many people are running independent in November. So I would say the governor's race would be the biggest race that we have in November.
Yeah. And that is shaping up. The other one I think is going to be interesting, and now I see Senator Corker has finally come out with another decision that he will not run.
Right.
So the Senate race is going to get kind of interesting.
It
too,
will. It will.
And we're looking at Democrats are pretty sure to be Bredesen.
Yeah, it's right, and there's several. Right now, there's several people voicing that they're going to run for governor, but we don't really have all the final paper, and we won't have the final paperwork until after April to know for sure who's going to be, until after April 5th, who's going to be on that ballot.
That's governor and the Senate both.
Right.
Right. Okay. Well, let's come down a little bit locally. How many candidates you got for county mayor?
County mayor, we have 4 candidates. We have 2 Republican candidates and 2 Democrat candidates for county mayor.
Okay. So we're going to have good competition in the primary.
Right, in the primary, and then in August there is we have an independent candidate that is running for mayor.
Okay.
So
there'll be 3 on the ballot.
There will be 3 on that ballot.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't know whether there's any particular interest. We've got the existing mayor and a previous mayor both running this year.
Right.
So that'll probably add a little spice to the contest, won't it? Okay, so there are 4 candidates for mayor, and for sheriff, you got a full list also.
For sheriff, we have 4 candidates running for sheriff also. There are 3 Republican candidates and 3 Republican candidates and 1 Democrat candidate. Which
so there were 4.
The Democrat candidate is
the
Democrat candidate will be the incumbent, and then there's the 3 other candidates running as a Republican.
Democrat. What are we talking about? Sheriff?
Sheriff. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there again, we have an incumbent who is running. All the rest of them are open competition.
Right.
And then you have the county clerk. You've got 3 running, right?
Right. County clerk, we only have 2. One of those that were on your list, they did not return their papers.
Ah.
So we have 2 county clerks.
Okay. Well, that won't be quite as tough. And the Register of Deeds?
Register of Deeds, we have 3 people running.
You still have 3? Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Aside from the independents, is that kind of the load?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, we need to take another short commercial break, and we'll have to wrap up.
Russell's got your truck, man. Russell's got your truck. Chevy, Ford, and Ram, man. Russell's got your truck. With the best selection anywhere. Russell's got your truck.
Keith Barnett here at the Russell Barnett Automotive Family, and man, do we ever have your truck. 4 brands, hundreds to choose from, all at year-end discounted prices. So with so much to choose from, my question is, why buy your next truck anywhere else?
Russell's got your truck, man.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
We've been talking today, folks, with Vernita Davis, who is the Administrator of Elections for Coffee County. We've thrown an awful lot of information at you and also given you the information on where you can get information. And so we would encourage you to be informed. And we have 3 elections, one in May, one in August, one in November. And with that, Vernita, I usually give the guests a chance to speak directly to the voters out there, not only all those that vote, but especially those that are potential voters that are not usually coming out. Pretty sad. We've only got less than half of the voters usually participate in the elections.
Right.
So you got a word you'd like to put out to the folks?
I would like to say that for you people who, you voters who do want to vote in upcoming elections, especially in this May election and the August election where it is a primary, please study your candidates. That way you know whenever you do go vote which primary you wish to vote in. It may be that your neighbor is on one race and your best friend or something may be on another race, and you have to choose which one you want to be loyal to, as far as party, because they may be on separate parties.
Okay.
And so, just make sure that you look over the ballot before you do come to vote. Our ballot will be on our website. It will run in the Tullahoma and Manchester paper 2 different times. And also it's on the WMSR website and several websites for the media. They will have a copy of our ballot.
Okay, Vernita, very good. We've run out of time. So I want to thank you very much for coming to share your information with us. Get out and vote, folks. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.